So you thought we were done, right? Almost. Hey, and welcome to Dominator TV. I'm your host, Dave the Dominator. Today covers step 9 of the home buying process. This one is short and sweet, yet equally important as it serves as a final contingency to protect the buyers from getting an unpleasant surprise. In case you haven't noticed, this process is certainly set up to give the buyers tons of opportunities to make sure they are serious about their purchase. During the final walkthrough, the buyer will have the opportunity to take one last look or personal inspection of the property, preferably as close to closing as possible. This step is created to ensure that the property is in the same condition as when the buyers made their offer or better. In the event any repairs or replacements were asked of the seller, your final walkthrough is your last opportunity to make sure they were completed. But why is this necessary? Perhaps the repair you requested isn't completed. Maybe a storm knocked a limb through your living room window and nobody knows about it. Perhaps one of the repair workers Perhaps one of the repair workers was working in the attic and fell through the ceiling, leaving a man-sized hole. This has actually happened. In the event catastrophe or even an incomplete repair strikes, the final inspection gives you the opportunity to find a remedy before closing or, you guessed it, walk away. Naturally, nobody wants the transaction to fall apart hours before closing, so a solution usually begins brewing immediately. Here's what usually happens. The buyers and sellers will decide to extend closing in order to complete any repairs before the paperwork is final. This is a guarantee to the buyer that the work will be done. Or the buyer and seller will go into an additional agreement that will outlive the original purchase agreement. In this case, the sellers will be contractually obligated to complete repairs, but they will happen after closing. This means that any further damages or dissatisfaction will be handled outside of the closing and has led to illegal action in the past. In both cases, the agents preparing the transactions will help execute these additional agreements. In the best scenario, going with the option to have the repairs completed before closing does help with ensuring that they actually get done, but each needs to be weighed on a case-by-case basis. In an ideal transaction, the buyers will perform their walkthrough. Be totally satisfied, and attend closing with no hiccups. I'll say that this does happen in most cases. If you have agents who are on top of it, these possible problems can be handled way before closing. Either way, enjoy this as your last kill switch before closing to make sure the house meets your needs. As always, own this transaction because it's yours and you deserve the best. Until next time, this has been Dominator TV. Deuces.